The Bible recounts the covenant relationship between Yah and the Israelites, his chosen people. The Israelites signed a covenant with Yah, promising obedience in exchange for blessings and protection. However, their history is marked by repeated breaches of the covenant, leading to cycles of captivity and exile under the ruling powers of the time. Despite these periods of subjugation, the Bible outlines the ultimate restoration of Israel. It tells of a final and most severe captivity under a global empire, during which Israel suffers greatly. However, this darkest chapter will culminate in their redemption, with Yah returning them to their homeland. The narrative concludes with Yeshua's defeat of this global empire, signaling the end of Israel's final captivity and the beginning of a new era of peace and restoration. Covenant with the Israelites. The Old Testament establishes the covenant between Yah and the Israelites, with Moses serving as the intermediary. At Mount Sinai, Yah and the Israelites signed a covenant that required them to obey his laws, and in return they would receive blessings, prosperity, and leadership among nations. This is seen in Exodus 19:5-6, where Yah says, "Now if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be my treasured possession. Although the whole earth is mine, you will be for me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation." This covenant was foundational, establishing the Israelites' unique role among nations and defining their responsibilities. The Israelites' role. As Yah's chosen people, the Israelites were set apart to be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. This role carried with it the responsibility of teaching and leading other nations in the ways of Yah. As long as the Israelites remained obedient, they were promised blessings, including prosperity in their land and favor among other peoples. However, failure to uphold the covenant would result in consequences, such as captivity, exile, and loss of blessings. Grafting in the Gentiles. The New Testament introduces Yeshua, who came to fulfill the covenant and the prophecies, although his mission was initially focused on the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Matthew 15:24. It eventually expanded to include Gentiles. This expansion is described as a form of grafting, where Gentiles are grafted into the covenant promises through Yeshua's sacrifice. However, this grafting does not mean that Gentiles receive all the promises given to Israel. Instead, they share in the promises made to Abraham, which are promises of faith and righteousness, but not necessarily the same nationalistic or land-based promises given to Israel. Paul explains this concept of grafting in Romans 11:17-24, where he uses the metaphor of an olive tree to describe how some branches, Israelites, were broken off due to unbelief, allowing wild olive branches, Gentiles, to be grafted in. This grafting does not grant Gentiles the same status or role as the Israelites. Rather, it allows them to share in the spiritual blessings promised to Abraham. Role of Yeshua. Yeshua's role was to bring redemption and restoration, ultimately fulfilling the covenant promises and opening a path for Gentiles to join in the faith through his sacrificial death and resurrection. Although his primary mission remained focused on the Israelites, the original covenant people, it eventually extended to Gentiles. The book of Revelation reinforces the Israelites' unique role, indicating that those who remain faithful will be made kings and priests. According to Revelation 5:10 in the King James Bible, "And hast made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth." This highlights the Israelites' special status as Yah's chosen, where they are promised a special position in his kingdom that allows them to rule and reign over the other nations with Yeshua. Deuteronomy 28 and the curses. Deuteronomy 28 outlines the blessings and curses associated with the covenant between Yah and Israel. The curses depict the severe consequences of Israel's disobedience, including scattering among the nations as slaves, becoming a proverb and a byword, and experiencing various hardships. Deuteronomy 28:64-68 describes the Israelites' scattering and subjugation, suggesting a period of intense oppression. Verse 68, which references being transported back to Egypt in ships, implies a return to slavery, metaphorically indicating severe bondage and exile. These curses are believed to foretell Israel's final captivity under the hands of a world empire run by Mystery Babylon the Great. This captivity represents the culmination of Israel's disobedience and the fulfillment of the curses in Deuteronomy 28. The imagery of Mystery Babylon encapsulates the oppressive forces that will control and enslave Israel in the last days. The prophets foretell that this period will be marked by extreme hardship, persecution, and scattering across the globe. Mystery Babylon the Great. The concept of Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, is found in the book of Revelation, where this entity is portrayed as a powerful but corrupt system or nation opposing Yah and exploiting his people. Revelation 17:5 introduces this imagery, suggesting a complex network of power, idolatry, and corruption. The linkage between Mystery Babylon and Israel's final captivity points to a time when Israel is dominated by a powerful system that holds sway over many nations, leading to their ultimate suffering and dispersal. The woman riding the beast. In Revelation 17, the woman representing Mystery Babylon is depicted as riding a scarlet beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. This imagery suggests a close relationship between the woman and the beast, indicating that Mystery Babylon has significant influence over a powerful, multifaceted entity. The beast is often interpreted as a political or religious system with global power and authority, while the woman represents the overarching system that controls or directs the beast. The fact that she is riding the beast implies a position of authority and control, suggesting that Mystery Babylon uses the beast's power to extend her influence across the world. This relationship indicates a complex alliance between the woman and the beast, allowing Mystery Babylon to exert her will over nations and peoples, sitting on many waters. In Revelation 17:1, the woman is described as sitting on many waters. This phrase is further explained in Revelation 17:15, where the waters represent peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. This symbolism suggests that Mystery Babylon has a global presence, with a reach that extends across different cultures, languages, and regions. The depiction of sitting on many waters indicates that this entity has significant influence over the world's population, affecting a broad spectrum of societies, a global empire with influence. The representation of Mystery Babylon as a woman riding the beast and sitting on many waters underscores her status as a global empire with substantial influence. This system encompasses political, economic, and religious aspects, permeating various areas of human society. Mystery Babylon's power is not confined to a specific region. Instead, it spans the globe, impacting multiple nations and cultures. The imagery of the woman wearing luxurious clothing and holding a golden cup filled with abominations and filthiness, Revelation 17:4, suggests that Mystery Babylon is deeply rooted in corruption and idolatry. Her influence leads others into immoral practices and spiritual degradation, reinforcing the idea that this entity represents a pervasive force of evil that corrupts and oppresses. The final judgment. Mystery Babylon is a world imperialistic empire that controls all nations, holding Yah's children captive in the last days. It embodies a final system of corruption and power, exerting its influence on a global scale. However, there will come a time when Yah will deliver his people from Mystery Babylon's grip and return them to their homeland, Jerusalem, where they will live in peace until the events of Ezekiel 38 begin, Israel's restoration and final peace. In the last days, after Yah's people are freed from Mystery Babylon, they are returned to Jerusalem, Zion, to live in peace. They remain at peace until the events of Ezekiel 38 begin, when the nations of the world come to attack Israel for her resources, as seen in Ezekiel 38. This is the sign of the events that unfold throughout the book of Revelation. This prophetic timeline reflects a cycle of oppression, deliverance, and ultimate restoration which characterizes the overarching theme of the Bible. It reinforces the enduring relationship between Yah and his chosen people, with the final promise of peace in their homeland, before the dramatic events of the last days.